So this is where it all begins. This is where your sound begins, the guitar you play. Now, what should you look for in a good guitar? I'm going to run you through my Strats here and tell you a bit about each one. But generically, what you should look for in a good electric guitar is a kind of an acoustic resonance. So before you even plug it into an amp, you should just feel it ring acoustically. So hold any one chord, and if you can feel the body vibrating and it just seems alive, then you know that before you've even plugged the guitar in, you know that it stands a good chance of sounding pretty cool because the pickups haven't got to work too hard. This is my first guitar. It was my first real guitar. I had a Les Paul copy for when I first started playing, but when I was 13 or 14, I think I got this. It's a 1963 Strat with a custom colour sonic blue. It's a pretty rare sought-after guitar. I just got lucky at the right time back in the 70s. It's got a really nice flame maple neck. I used this for years and years and years and years. But then my playing kind of outgrew it because I used a tremolo a lot, and it's got the vintage trem, all the original hardware. The pickups, they're old pickups. They buzz under lights. There wasn't too much worry about that back in the 60s when they were building them. But when you're using high gain stuff under lighting rigs, you can do without all that sort of noise you get with these pickups. But it is a really, really cool guitar. I do use it for in studio for session stuff. And it's my first guitar. I love this. Another one that I've got, similar, is the 62. I've got a 62. It's lost its paint. Some bright spark in the 70s took the paint off, which is a shame, because if you look just here, you can see that it was candy apple red, which would be a seriously sought after colour. But it's still, generically, a really good ringing 62 Strat. It sustains forever. So this actually sounds a lot better than this guitar, although this is a lot prettier. The neck is slightly different, it's thicker. It plays evenly all over the neck. It stays in tune, which is what you want from a guitar. If you use your tremolo, you need it to come back to pitch. I mean, I use the tremolo a lot, and the main thing I require from a guitar is that it does stay in tune after a lot of abuse from the tremolo. But these old Strats, they're vintage, they're sought after, they're versatile, but they don't come out very often on a touring show for me because I use a more modern Strat. So here's a more modern Strat. It's a Jeff Beck signature. As you can see, I've got three of them. I've got a green one and a yellow one. The strange thing is about these guitars is they are all kind of different. They sound different. They all have their own little idiosyncrasies. This one I use a lot. At the moment it's tuned to E flat. But a thing I look for in a good Strat is the weight of it. This guitar is extremely light. I tend to find that light guitars tend to resonate and sound better at volume. It's a cool colour, but this one, the green one, is a very bright sounding guitar, slightly heavier. The yellow one back there is a prototype. It was one of the first 12 ever made. It did the NAMM show in about 91. So on the yellow one, there's a huge neck. The Jeff Beck went through a period of using big necks, and I kind of really like that big neck because I think it adds to the sound. A body and a neck interacts. It's a whole resonating thing. It's the combination. You can luck out. You can find a really nice cheap guitar, but if the neck and the body work together fine, it'll sound great. But I find these big necks give a real fat tone to the tone. This green one has a smaller neck. They kind of varied them because people didn't like the huge neck. I kind of liked it, but so they kind of compromised on this on the later one. This is from 91. This is about a 93. This green one is about 95, 96. So they all vary slightly. I kind of like these pickups. They're lace sensor pickups. They're the gold lace sensor pickups, and I've got a little switching option to switch it in a humbucker. It kind of takes it from a single coil to a humbucker. It doesn't really sound like a humbucker, but it just gives you another tool to make the pickup sound a bit fatter. These tremolos that you find on a lot of modern Strats, it's the two pivot system. It works really, really well. If it's all set up great, it should stay in tune better than any Floyd. And as you can see, there's a lot of ping on it. I kind of like that lively. I like that liveliness of a tremolo. It works. I can bend up a whole tone or a tone and a half. All my tremolos are set so that they float. It's no good having a tremolo and just being able to push down on it. You need to be push and pull on it. So when you hold a chord, you can ring. If I could only push down on the tremolo, I could only do this, and that just sounds. It doesn't sound too cool to me. So these are the Jeff Beck Strats. I do like Jeff Beck's playing, but these guitars just work for me. It's just one of those things that I'm drawn to these guitars because it works. It's a very versatile guitar. This is another kind of Strat I use quite a lot. Towards the late 90s, Fender had a period of knocking these guitars out. They bought the rights to Floyd Rose, so they stuck a humbucker and a Floyd Rose on some of their guitars, and they called it the American Classic. But because it's got a Floyd Rose on it, it's not a very popular guitar, so you could go out and buy one of these second-hand quite cheaply. But it is a versatile guitar, and considering what I said about the weight thing earlier, it's actually, thinking about it, quite a heavy guitar. But it is very resonant, and it does, at volume, it does sing, even though these are Fender pickups. It's a Fender humbucker. Not a particularly good humbucker, but it's on the to-do list that I've got to change it. I'm going to probably change it to a Seymour Duncan, or I might even put some EMGs on it. But I kind of go out with this sometimes, and it works really good. I do still use a Floyd Rose. It's the third, out of the Strats I've shown you, it's the third type of tremolo system we've got. We've got the vintage trem on the vintage guitars, the twin pivot ones on the Jeff Beck ones, and a Floyd Rose. They all do the same thing. The vintage one's not so good, but I do like the Floyd Rose. It works, and I'm one of those sad players that keep using them.